Today in the herd, we are live on a day many of us, most of us woke up, rushed to the internet, and saw a story that was a combination of James Bond meets Casino, meets Uncut Gems, meets Rounders, meets reality. First, the Louvre heist in Paris this weekend, and now a gambling sting with the FBI and the NBA. It's the Roaring 20s, apparently. Welcome into the herd in Chicago. Is Capone still here? Whoa. What is happening? If you have not heard, NBA current and active NBA coach Chauncey Billups, former MVP in the finals, has been arrested. So is Damon Jones and Terry Rozier. So, first of all, I used to work in Vegas for 7 years. I saw a lot of bad actors. The mob was still in Vegas. So I don't get real precious on this stuff. For years and years, I mean, you can go back to Henry Hill, Boston College in the 70s. People go into prison over this stuff. You can go back to the Romans and the chariots. Gambling in sports has been intertwined forever. And the mafia is often part of it. Tim Donaghy, the NBA investigation, Shohei Ohtani, the interpreter. I always look at stories like this as a good thing. I want to protect our sports. I want to protect the sanctity of these sports. So when stories like this come out and they're uncovered and discovered and there's indictments, and these are all accusations, but it's a 4-year process by the FBI, about $7 million victims lost, hours and hours of videotape, and I've been reading this stuff for the last 45 minutes to an hour, and these are accusations. I'll try to simplify it as much as I can and give you my take on it. So, Damon Jones, Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups. So it's all illegal gambling. It's 11 states, spanned across 11 states, 30 individuals arrested. 13 of them are mafia members. La Cosa Nostra, that's the Italian mafia. So these are two separate incidents. So the NBA one is 6 defendants. Damon Jones, Terry Rozier. Basically, they leveraged their connections to place prop bets. For instance, Terry Rozier, in a game in March 2 years ago, feigned an injury so he would be pulled out of a game and all the unders on the prop bets would hit. And a guy who's made over $100 million apparently won a couple $100,000 for doing it from real bad actors. Not sure why you do that. Maybe he was in huge debt. But they're two separate indictments. The poker fraud's been going on forever in basements all across the world. Okay, so the poker fraud stuff, let me just read some of this. The technology was hidden cameras, special contact lenses, glasses that could read marked cards, x-ray poker tables that could read cards face down. There were people off-site from the decks that were getting information, feeding it back to people who were playing in the game. In those games, there were some NBA players like Damon Jones is mentioned in this accusation, these arrests. And again, the poker stuff, and that's been happening forever. It's happening this morning and it's happening tonight all over the country, all over the globe. That stuff, it's casino meets rounders. It's intense. I don't play poker. I have friends who do. They joke about stuff like this. The NBA stuff is the stuff we all worry about primarily, right? That's the stuff we worry about. Tim Donaghy, Henry Hill, Boston College. There was that ASU investigation. Vegas often tells the leagues. Vegas doesn't want cheaters. Vegas, their margins are thin. Sports bettors are smarter than ever. Last week or the week before, Joe Fan crushed the books. So you fans are smarter than ever. Vegas doesn't want to see this stuff. Vegas wants to get this stuff out. So, and I lived in Vegas for 7 years, and sports gambling and the mafia have been around forever. There were accusations forever around Tark, none of it ever proven. I don't believe any of it. But players were in casinos, and there's bad actors everywhere. And he was always terribly aware of it and preached to his players, stay out of those casinos. And I covered a program that had that stuff hovering over him for years and years and years. I didn't believe any of it. None of it. It was just, as part of the fabric and casinos and gambling and bad guys and basketball coaches. And so my takeaway on all this stuff is this is serious business. The poker stuff happening forever. The NBA stuff, they just signed these massive contracts. This is an awful day for Adam Silver. It's just an awful day for Adam Silver. And the people I know in sports, they tell athletes don't do it. They tell them to stay away. I've always worried more about officials than athletes. My first job was covering a basketball team in Vegas, and I'm telling you, UNLV was so aware of it, so concerned about it, so frightened about it, preached to the athletes constantly, and good for them. They 99.9% of the time, except for one person that got involved. It's a hot tub. I remember waking up in Vegas one year, spokesman review. The AD was Dennis Frinfrock, and there was Richard the Fixer Perry was in a hot tub with a couple of players, blew up the program. This stuff's been going on forever, ever. So my takeaway on this, I don't want to get precious on it. I would love to get Kash Patel on the show today. There was a press conference for 45 minutes this morning, and here's Kash Patel.
Today, we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra. But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today, former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing.
So the one thing I read, there was some video that surfaced last year on the internet, like all of you, I'm on my phone sometimes, with Terry Rozier and really ugly turnovers. The FBI says that Rozier told the defendants that he was going to leave a game March 2 years ago. The defendants then placed a couple $100,000 in wagers on prop bets. He feigns an injury. They take him out. It hits. It says there were tens of thousands of dollars in profits. Again, I want these stories uncovered. I want to protect the sanctity of our sports. I don't get precious. I'm not naive. I know what goes on. My first job was covering a Vegas team where Richard the Fixer Perry in a hot tub showed up one day in the Review Journal. You can look it up online. I woke up, read it, and thought, my world's imploded. So I just think chariot races, the Romans, gambling, mafia, uncut gems, it's live in living color, and here we are today with it. Once again in my life, I feel like this is about the 15th time something like that. The Donaghy stuff was unbelievable when it happened. And Donaghy for years and years said, I didn't change outcomes, I just wanted to hit the over. I just called fouls, like validating it, rationalizing it. So we'll keep you posted. Now, before this story, last night when I went to bed, it was a normal story. Well, abnormal. The second best player in the league, and maybe the first in about 3 months, is Wemby. 40 points, 15 rebounds, 3 blocks, no turnovers, 70% from the field. What is he, 21? Right now, I think he's the second, starting last night, the second most dominating player in the league. Luka can't change a game defensively, either can SGA. Jokic isn't much of a defender, but he is so great offensively, he basically carried Denver to a title. When he's off the floor, they're a non-playoff team. When he's on the floor, they can win the title. It's the only player in the league, maybe outside of Giannis, that could do that. I think there are 5 great players in the NBA, and they're all international right now. Jokic, Wemby, Luka, Giannis, and SGA. But what I watched last night, I kind of felt watching it is, and those are clearly the 5 best players. They're all international. And the NBA is going through an interesting thing. No more dynasties. Adam Silver doesn't want dynasties, so they have these aprons. So it's so punitive to owners to stack rosters. And the second thing is all the best players are international. And keep your eye on Alperen Şengün of Houston, who's 23, made an all-star game at 22, and is ascending fast. He is notably, clearly, and inarguably better than Kevin Durant right now today. NBA may market Durant. Şengün's the better player. And improving every 30 games. So it's a fascinating time in the NBA. I love watching Jokic. I know a lot of people think it's boring. I covered Arvydas Sabonis in Portland. I thought he was the best passer on the team, the best shooter on the team. And I didn't even see him. He was in Lithuania for his prime. I didn't even get the best of him. And I thought he was an unbelievable basketball player. Jokic is notably better than Sabonis. And Sabonis was on that Blazer team that made the finals, or almost made the finals, got beat the Lakers in 7 with Kobe and Shaq. And I thought Sabonis was the most skilled player, way past his prime. So I think last night, it's just, we're watching the kid. The kid had 40 points in 30 minutes. 30 minutes, 40 points. All those rebounds, 70% from the field. So I think at some point, maybe before the All-Star break, Wemby will be the second best player in this league.